there's this level of stupidity, and it spreads because they don't have to, all they have to say is Trump is Hitler. And their followers will be like, well, maybe he is Hitler. But then if anyone actually paid attention in history class, they'd be like, he's not anything close to Hitler.
Tyrus absolutely tears into Whoopi Goldberg and The View in this clip, calling out their biased takes and complete lack of honesty. He exposes the lies they push, especially when it comes to ridiculous comparisons and pushing the tired Hitler narrative. And Tyrus highlights just how out of touch and unhinged the panel has really became. Let's take a look at Tyrus shredding Whoopi Goldberg and the woke nonsense coming from The View live.
Told The View he could see Donald Trump's victory from a mile away. It's the same thing he said about Joy Behar. Big lady. As a result of Trump's victory, the Dow Jones surged 1,500 points this week. Nancy Pelosi made so much money, she put a down payment on a new face. Pop star Madonna ate a cake that said F Trump. Meanwhile, Chris Christie ate a cake that said cake. Richard Gere, the actor, has sold his Connecticut home for $11 million after revealing that he's leaving the United States.
Here it comes.
Good. And don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. It'll wake the gerbils. Going to be on his tombstone. What's he going to do? Rachel Maddow is being mocked for warning the U.S. that it was headed for an autocratic government. She's also being mocked for her startling resemblance to Hawaii detective Steve McGarrett. Yeah, her safe word is book 'em, Dano.
People on these channels, when this worked for a while, right? What this worked for a while, where they had their highest viewership, talking about Trump and all these bad things are going to happen, and the walls are closing in.
Yes.
The walls haven't, obviously, is reelected. So, but that's kind of worked for them for a while. So that's why they're doing it. Division and this kind of fear mongering, it makes money. Mm-hmm. It's far more interesting to say that on TV than it is to say Trump won, but it's probably going to be fine. Yeah. People tune in for, so just, I'd say look at motivations of things.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? This is actually a pretty solid point. I genuinely believe the legacy media created the very monster that ended up destroying them. Think about it. When Trump came onto the scene, the media went all in trying to paint him as this evil, dangerous figure. They pushed the fear, the outrage, the nonstop negativity, and in doing so, they radicalized their own audience. They trained people to expect and feed on the constant outrage. So when viewers came back, they weren't looking for real journalism or honest conversations. They just wanted more rage bait, more Trump drama, more emotional highs, and the outlets like CNN and MSNBC became addicted to that attention. Maybe they didn't create that cycle, but once it started, that was the only way they can keep people watching and just keep people retained. And sure enough, once Trump lost in 2020 and was out of the spotlight, their ratings just absolutely tanked. No one cared about the boring, everyday political coverage. So what did they do now? They went right back to Trump. The moment he announced he was running again, boom, the ratings spiked. Legacy media really made themselves into Trump chasers, and now they can't survive without him. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments.
Walls are closing in, but it's the wall on our border. See what I did there? And I got applause.
If you wanted me to clap for you, you could have just asked.
Yes. What about that, Tyrus? The fact that, okay, we always have to begin every time I ask. You called this early on. You said the polls were BS, but do you believe that it was artificially made close because of what Kat was saying to keep the money flowing?
No, I think the problem is that we have an elite group of narcissistic morons. Mm-hmm. So, no, I wish that was a joke, but it's not. They don't. To go on TV every day to objectively talk about something, you have to study, you have to research the pros and cons. And both candidates, you should find things you like, things that concern you. It's called doing work. That's why all the old journalists look so old, because they smoked cigarettes and stayed up all night checking sources and this, that, whatever. When you get The View, who are like, I don't have to think anything. I don't like them, and I'm rich, so you shouldn't like him either. And I can say anything because no one's going to check me. I surround myself with people. They'll have one puppet Republican who was scared to death to say anything against them, or if she does come out, they'll interrupt her nonstop. So there's this level of stupidity, and it spreads because they don't have to. All they have to say is Trump is Hitler. And their followers will be like, well, maybe he is Hitler. But then if anyone actually paid attention in history class, they'd be like, he's not anything close to Hitler.
Yeah.
There is no other Hitler. Hence why we know who Hitler is.
Yeah.
Because there's just an ignorance and it's an arrogance to where I could just say whatever I want to. Then they get caught. And they can't say, I have been wasting network money lying to you. So they have to double down and go even stupider.
Yeah.
And keep saying things like, I only watch because of the clips. You force us to watch The View.
I do.
He does. He does. He's like, yeah, you predicted it. Good job. Guess who's watching The View for a month? So Cat's baby's gonna come out and be like anti-Sunny. But as you watch them, you see them just age and cringe because they get caught up in their lives. So what do? The new word is misogynistic. And guess what? Their only mistake was they blamed white men. They forgot that black men, Hispanic men, and Asian men too. So that's the new thing. And then they're like, oh, it's just men. And then they're like, well, 53% of women. Oh, it's stupid women and men. So they'll just keep going till they're down to the only thing you can trust is a penguin. The penguins, they get it because they're running out of people to blame.
Yes.
So this is fun because they just keep it going, keep it going. Next thing we hear is apparently the extraterrestrials also voted for Trump. So it's a long line of just stupidity because you don't have to practice or educate yourself to be stupid.
Yeah.
Just like Tyrus said in this clip, it's just stupidity doubling down on itself. I mean, now you've got these hosts like Whoopi Goldberg included, bringing in lawyers to read statements on air because they said something so outrageous the week before. Now they're getting sued for it. That's the only reason they're suddenly trying to cover themselves. And honestly, that might be the only way to stop people like Whoopi and the rest of The View or anyone else pushing this stupid nonsense. You've got to hit them where it hurts. Sue them in oblivion. Because let's face it, just as Harris pointed out, they're not going to stop. They'll just keep doubling down on these emotional, fact-free talking points until someone actually holds them accountable. Whether it's MSNBC, CNN, The View, The Washington Post, whoever. If there's no consequence for the lies and the propaganda they keep spewing, it's just going to continue. And the sad part, the people watching, they'll keep soaking it all in like it's the gospel, no question asked. And at some point, someone's got to stand up and say, look, if you're going to spread this kind of garbage, I'm coming after you for every penny. Not even for the money, but just to get you to stop talking. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this topic in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next video.